Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the Ressha Sentai ToQger Norikai figures for ToQ 1gou, ToQ 1gou, and ToQ 1gou. I decided to do all three of these in one review. I debated about doing them individually, but ultimately they're just so similar that I'm going to include them in one review, even though the title's going to be kind of strange and long. So that's my life. Anyway, we're going to start at kind of a weird place. I'm going to start with accessories just because I want to show you that all three of these guys come with the exact same accessories. I'm going to show you right now. These are their three trays. They all have the exact same accessories. All of the ToQgers weapons here, as well as their sidearm forms for each. They just arrange them differently depending on the package to confuse you. So I just wanted to point that out because I'm only going to be using one accessory tray to show you what they all look like, because they are literally the exact same thing, which I thought was weird. I'm like, why would they all come with the same thing? But then I guess if someone only purchases one, you're getting everything. But we'll actually, let's go ahead and go over those. We're already in it. So yeah, they all come with the exact same thing. They're just arranged differently to make you think. Anyway, they have the sidearms here. You got the ToQ blaster here, which is a really generic black. In the sword mode, also very generic black, kind of like Bandai of America weapons. You get red rail saber. It wants to come out of here. They're pretty generic, but at least they have the color that they're made for. I mean, these weapons honestly aren't the most spectacular thing in the world, especially in the giant toy form. So yeah, it's just pretty much red. You have the tunnel axe, which is greens, which I pointed out in my review of the deluxe, roleplay version. This looks like a shovel, so you could have him total farmer mode. Just pose him holding this and scooping. So definitely there. And we have Blue's trigger weapon here, which actually looks better than the deluxe version, just because it's kind of more elongated. But as you can see, they're pretty basic. You do, despite the fact that they don't have figures, you do get pink and yellow's weapons. You get Pink's little claw here, which is more solid pink than it actually is. And you got the signal hammer here, which actually appears to be bigger than the deluxe version. But it just seems better. But yeah, is that everything? That is everything. So you get all of their weapons. Every single one gets the same accessories. So now, we're really revving up here. First, let's show boring weapons. Now we're going to show the box. I'm only going to show one of the boxes since they're all the same, just with a different ranger. You see, you got a picture of whichever ranger you can see there. Here we've got 1gou here. It's kind of in a cool pose. The stock art does look pretty decent. And then at the top here, it shows, how the color change thing would work. Stock art of him, and then a photo of the figure. Same thing here. And on the back it shows that they come with the weapons, other ones in the line, and how the number thing works. So we're going to start with red. I will be going over everyone individually, but I'm going to use as red, or 1gou, as the base model for the articulation, because they are all the same mold, so I don't need to do articulation for every single one of them. So we'll start with that since I was just talking about it. Articulation wise, I say they're pretty solid. They're pretty much just a step above a regular 5-inch PR figure. You have a nice hinge joint here, so you get some solid outward movement, and 360 as well. Single elbow joint, you can swivel right here, and his hand can swivel. His chest can swivel here, and his head can go around 360. Not really any up and down movement, just very slightly, barely even noticeable. And then you have this interesting little hinge joint system here, which actually gives you some really decent leg articulation. You can go all the way out, forward, back, so pretty solid there. I mean, it's going to look kind of strange when you got the gap there, but still pretty solid. Single knee joint here, swiveling, and then you've got this little ball joint on his foot to move him around. But so yeah, pretty much just a step above the 5-inch figure, kind of like the Gaim arm change figures or Wizard Waps. It's like somewhere right in between figure arts and traditional 5-inch Power Rangers figures. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. We're just going to zoom in a little bit. Overall, the ToQgers are very basic, so it's pretty hard to screw up figures of them, and they did a really nice job here. The helmet sculpt looks really decent, really nothing spectacular. You can see this looks a little far away, maybe even a little milky, the clear plastic here, but that's because of the gimmick, which I'll be showing off in just a moment. But overall, the helmet is pretty solid. Nothing spectacularly wrong with it or anything. The chest all looks fine since this is really the only design on it. Yet again, this does look a little bit weird, but that is because of the gimmick. These shoulders do look kind of strange to me. They're really buffed out, like they really pop out, which looks really strange. But overall, not bad. The buckle here is nicely detailed. I mean, it's just pretty much a sticker, but still not bad. The rest of them is pretty plain, which, like I said, the ToQgers are so basic that they actually make for nice stuff like this because you don't have to worry about messing them up. You do have the changer here, which is solid black, and you've got the colored Ressha in there, which would be a nice touch, but because of the fact that you might be trying to show this guy as a different color. Like if he was using blue, then it just kind of defeats the purpose. Well, like, no, I guess it doesn't. Does it? I don't know. Colors got me confused, man. Anyway, the main draw of these figures is up here and down here, which is you can change the number on them. So right here, for this guy, he's got the most interesting one. Right here, you pull this up. Look at that. That's amazing. And so you just twist it and it will change the number. So right now you can see there's a 1. Don't take it so hard with you. So you can change it to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Or so it's like as if he's doing a change. So you have ToQ 1gou, Nijo, 1gou, 1gou, and Gogo. So let's make him be Nijo. So let's keep it at 2. So you would dial it in at 2, press it down. Now back here, they all feature the same system, which is just this gear which you pull down, and when you do that, it'll switch. I'm actually going backwards. So 1gou, Nijo, 1gou, 1gou, and Gogo. So we made him 2, right? We made him Nijo. So now it is as if ToQ 1gou has become red. That is really cool. I mean, it's such a subtle change, but because of the gimmick of the show, I think that's a really cool, simplistic gimmick that is just really kind of something awesome. I really do wish we had gotten the girl figures just because it would have been cool to, you know, have more like that. And I really would want a male pink figure because as of right now, Wright seems to really like going pink. So that would have been really cool if they could have done that. Alright, so now we will take a look at Nijo since he is second here. Blue. So pretty much the same deal here. The helmet I think looks pretty good. I really dig Blue's helmet for some reason. I just like the design of his. You know, he can be pushing up his glasses or whatever he does. But yeah, and you can see right here the number is a lot smaller on his. So we'll get to that in a second. But overall detail-wise, look, that's already messed up. But overall, detail-wise, pretty solid. Like I said, really hard to screw up. They got all the details right. The belt is the exact same. This detail here is the same. He's got his little Ressha there, which now I suddenly realize does make sense. I feel like an idiot. But yeah, nothing really too much to say about it. The gimmick here obviously works the same. You just twist it, and oh my god, I'm going to get the jackpot. Who should we make him? Let's make him 1. I'll have him switch with Wright. So make him 1. Now up here, this is a bit different. You've got this little slider system here, so you slide it to various places and you get the number. So it's very small and hard to see. So you start, there's 1, you see 1gou, Nijo, so 1gou, it's really hard to line up, 1gou, oh, so fast, 1gou, and Gogo. Now we wanted to make him 1gou, right? So there you go, and it is as if Wright is now blue. Yet again, very, very cool. It is so subtle and small on these ones that it's really difficult to see, and I appreciate the fact that they still even did it. Really nice. Really difficult if you're like OCD and you're off-center a little bit and you just can't get it. But very cool. Alright, so now let's bring in 1gou. I'm a little too zoomed in. His color looks really strange. I realize he's bright in the show, but he looks like bright radioactive pea soup green, really strange looking color wise, but everything else looks fine. Yet again, his helmet does look pretty solid. I really don't have any problems with it. The details on the ToQgers are very hard to mess up. Everything looks the same. I'm like going back and forth between styles. Sometimes I want to do like pans like this, and other times I'm just like but anyway, you get the idea. Very solid looking, and as I mentioned before, all of them have the exact same articulation, and I really haven't found any loose joint problems. His chest number gimmick is just the same as the others, you know, lottery time and all that. I'll make him 1gou, I guess. So he's got the same deal here. You can see up here is the 4 for 1gou. It's got the same exact turning style, so go back. There's 1gou. It's glaring off the camera too. Nijo, 1gou, and then we'll go back to Gogo. His actually seems a little bit easier to deal with than ToQ 1gou's or Blue's. So did we already get 3? It's so glary. Okay, 3. We'll make him 3 just for the fun of it. So yeah, very, very cool. The last thing I'm going to do here before we get to the sort of final wrap-up is just to show scale. We'll use Nijo here, I guess it's Nijo now, to show a couple scales. Here's, I have an AC figure, arms change figure. I got Greedon instead of Gaim just because he was the most easily accessible. But as you can see, they're roughly in scale with each other. So if you want to do ToQgers and Gaim crossover displays, you got that set for you. And then just to show, I don't know where Red Buster is, but here is last year's sort of figure of this type. As you can see, Ichigo, or Nijo, the ToQger is a lot taller and just more well-proportioned than Kyoryu Red. You know, last year we had this figure with the Dino Chaser, and then we had Red Buster with his bike. And then just last comparison here, it is to a 5-inch Super Mega Force figure, Super Mega Force Red. As you can see, he's also quite a bit taller. But yeah, that's about it for that. Overall, I really enjoy these figures. I think they're really nice. Even though we don't have the full team, like I said, it would be nice to get the girls just to have a full team. It's nice to sort of have an almost equivalent of like a regular PR type figure so early. And they're fairly well articulated. I mean, the shoulders look a little strange, but they're fairly nicely articulated. They're a decent substitute until a potential figure art. They have all the weapons if you want it. And the number switch gimmick is really, really simplistic, but I think a really cool and unique thing that they tried to do. I hope we at least get orange, just because that'd be really cool. But overall, if you want an articulated figure for any of the ToQgers of these three, I can definitely recommend them right now. I think they're really fun figures, and I really enjoy them. But anyway, that's about it. Until next time, make sure to check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Dawson Ryder, signing out.